crazy game.
I mean, it's kind of laughable. I think it's good to score 5 goals. It's bad to give up 4. I mean, obviously we want to tighten up defensively. Those are just, I feel like a lot of kind of sloppy goals. We just sort of let the momentum get away and just couldn't really grab a hold of it there for a while. I mean, with that said, they're a quality team, obviously, especially attacking-wise. They just have so much firepower, and they're apparently good on the comeback. So we just kind of need to weather the storm, and yeah, it was wild.
From what you were seeing and experiencing on the field, do you think it was maybe the team just kind of got lost in the moment, just how quickly you guys were scoring those goals, to start off the second half, and maybe that could have played a factor into just easing up and making it easy for Sky Blue to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I think we let the game get too wide open. I think it was open in general. I think both teams like to play in attacking style and go forward and have a big shape, but I think that when we go up like that, we can't just expect that it's just going to keep going like that. I mean, I think we've had a couple other big wins during the season against, not nearly as good a teams as Sky Blue. So I think we just kind of lost focus a little bit and just sort of let it just be open like that, and we really needed to consolidate the game at that point, which we didn't. So that'll be I'm sure there'll be lots of film from this game, not in the form of the 5 goals. But we'll learn from it. I mean, it's a huge 3 points at home. This was big for us. We left last week wanting a lot more and very disappointed with only getting 1 point at home out of them. So it was a big win in terms of points and where we are in the standings, and kind of kicking on through the break and leave everyone with a happy note going into the break.
Speaking of which, since you did drop the points before and said it's 4-4, you don't get the go-ahead again until about the 87th. What was the feeling on the pitch about more points being potentially dropped?
Yeah, I mean, I think we sort of as a group, it was kind of understood that we want to go for the win. We didn't want to just pack it in and kind of consolidate at that point that we had already given up the lead. We wanted to go for the win. Felt like the game was open as well, and it was something that we could go for. I mean, we need the points, bottom line. I think we're not in a position where we can afford to want to go after a draw, especially not at home, but really just in the table, we've dropped too many points in too many places to not be going for the 3.
You guys always talk about, it's not really about the other team, it's about playing your game, but Sky Blue's had some injuries on the back line. Is there anything you all were prepared for, that a game plan going in attacking-wise, knowing that they may be vulnerable defensively?
I mean, obviously there's a lot of changes in their back line that we haven't seen. They kind of play, obviously with Kelly playing a lot higher, they play pretty lopsided. So I think we try to get at the flanks anyways, especially for outside backs that go high. I do my fair bit of cheating, so we try to catch them on the break as much as we can or get Naho out on the other side. That's kind of our game plan all the time, but obviously with a lot of changes, hopefully hoping for a little miscommunication here or there from them.
Of your 3 goals, notably your first and your third one, which one's your favorite? A free kick or a match winner?
Yeah, not the shaky PK. Yeah, match winner. You always want to, show up in those big moments. I've put a couple free kicks into the goalpost though, so that was nice to actually get this one on frame. Naren was going to try to kick me off, and probably if I hit another one over.
Looking forward to the Tournament of Nations. What are you looking forward towards that?
I mean, obviously 3 really quality opponents at home on the West Coast, might I add. I'm very, very happy about that. Obviously living in Seattle and being from California, and not too far to travel because we're mid-season and we're just in the tired range now. I mean, hopefully big crowds and great games, and put on a show for everyone. It should be a really good test for us. I think we, happy with the results in Europe. I mean, obviously that's a long way to go on a short week and play 2 games. So I think we're happy with the 2 wins, but I think our performances, we'll want those to be a lot better and put on much more of a show at home.
Big week for Seattle as far as women's sports. I guess next door earlier.
Yeah.
Just kind of talk about the reception of the WNBA All-Star Game, and then looking ahead also to the tournament.
I mean, huge, obviously. The WNBA All-Star Game, I think, was a huge success. It was almost sold out in there. And just in general, I think the whole city really got behind it. From what I've heard just from Sue and other players, this was the best All-Star Game that they've been to, and it really felt like a special event, which is what they deserve. I mean, they're the best basketball players on the planet, and it's pretty cool to have them all in one place at one time and be able to put on a good show like that. And I was just like big fangirl the whole weekend, just trying to get involved in everything that I could. So it was a great event, and obviously I think we had 4,500 here today, which is one of our larger crowds. Maybe we'll get people to come back now that there were 9 goals in one game. It's pretty entertaining. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we have 2 of the best franchises in women's sports. Obviously, the Storm being here for 20 plus years, and us being here. This is our 5th year. Hopefully, it'll just help to keep growing the women's sports scene in this cool city.
You didn't make the game, right?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
She was courtside, girl.
What did you say?
Courtside.
Oh, okay.
I said that was courtside, girl.
Well, obviously, Sue opened up about y'all's relationship. How
Mhm.
have you seen her kind of respond, or was there any reaction, I guess, or anything on your part as far as the way people responded?
Yeah, it's all been very positive. I think, obviously, Sue and I have had a lot of conversations about this, and it was only going to be a matter of time. You can't really stay ungay dating me for that long. But I think it was really the perfect way for her to do it. I think it was good that there was a lot going on. Anyone who knows her knows that she doesn't really want the attention on her in that kind of way. And I think that's part of the reason why it took her so long to come out in this way, is she just didn't really resonate with her to, do a story just about that. That just didn't feel authentic to her. So I thought Michelle Vopel wrote a really beautiful story, and one that was just very authentic in sort of telling the story of who she is. I think it's all been really positive. I think she's been getting tons of love and tons of texts from everyone. So I think it was a positive experience, and I think she liked having something that was in a way bigger than that, having the All-Star game at the same time. So it wasn't all about that.
Do you often, I don't know, I mean, with the having game tonight, is that much of a deal as far as your schedule goes, game day schedule, to be able to go to a game and then come here?
Yeah, sometimes it works out in our favor. Now that everybody knows the scheduling honchos on each side, we'll have to match that up a lot better. Oftentimes they play earlier than us, or they'll play the day before, so we can kind of go to both. It actually worked out perfect today, sort of in my schedule, what I normally do on a game day. Normally I would just be kind of hanging out during that time anyway, so I was happy that I was able to take that all in.
Was she here tonight?
Yeah, she was. She better be. I think she was up there.
Make it back out to stores, you think?
I joke that I only go to the very biggest games in Yukon. I went to the 100 win, and then obviously, unfortunately, went to the one that they lost. I'm sure that I'll be dragged back there at some point. There's not a lot going on in stores, but they all just love it. So I'm sure I'll have to go back there at some point.
You started today going to the WNBA All-Star game. It was a fantastic celebration of the league and the players. Is that something that maybe you'd like to see in the NWSL in the distant or near future, an All-Star game?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we're at the point yet where it would really be a cool enough event. But yeah, absolutely. I think that would be really cool. I think maybe like a sort of domestic versus kind of foreign players. I think we have enough foreign players now, so that would be kind of a cool thing to bring a storyline around. But yeah, I think in the future that would be a really cool kind of event that we could do.
You drew 1-1 to start the season. You had tonight's
Yeah, shenanigans.
Let's call it that. But after national team duty, they're loitering out there in their schedule a couple weeks across the country and possibly get into the playoffs. What can you expect from and take from this match to bring you into a couple of very, one and possibly 2 very important matches with the same team, just not that far down the stretch?
I think our focus needs to be a lot better. They're the kind of team that just hits you very quickly. Obviously, Sam Kerr and Kelly Baumanon, they have very dynamic firepower. So I think our attention and our focus and sticking to the game plan needs to be top priority. You can't really sort of lose Sam for 1 second or lose a lot of them for 1 second. They're just too dynamic. So I think we can, look at the film and look at the areas where we really exploited them, and then tighten up a lot of the areas where I felt like we were just too loose and too open for a team that is that dynamic. I think sometimes we get caught just wanting to play the way that we want to play, and we need to do sometimes more what the game is asking of us, and that's part of our sort of growth this year.